Welcome to my channel. Please like, comment, and subscribe. How workers' compensation insurance work? Workers' compensation insurance pays vital benefits to employees when they are injured or sick because of their job. Workers' compensation benefits include medical treatment and ongoing care, payments to cover lost wages, and even death benefits. In most states, businesses are required to buy workers' compensation insurance for their employees, possibly even if they only have one employee. What is workers' compensation? Workers' compensation provides wages and medical care costs for people who are hurt on the job. Employers pay for workers' compensation coverage. Employees do not contribute to the fund. A workers' compensation is paid if the employer or insurance company confirms that the injury or illness was work-related. If the insurer or employer rejects the workers' compensation claim, a workers' compensation judge decides on the case. In addition to pay for injuries, rehabilitation, workers' compensation may compensate a family after work-related death. A brief fact about workers' compensation. Workers' compensation programs were established by state statute or within state constitution beginning in 1911. Today, each of the 50 states and the District of Columbia has its own workers' compensation program with the exception of Texas and Wyoming. Workers' compensation insurance coverage is mandatory in all states. Agricultural workers, domestic employees, and independent contractors are generally excluded from a workers' compensation insurance requirement. Total workers' compensation benefit paid were $62.9 billion in 2018. According to a study by a National Academy of Social Insurance in November 2020, and then what does workers' compensation insurance cover? Let's take a closer look at the benefits covered by workers' compensation insurance. Medical expenses, including hospital visits, medication, and emergency surgeries, are all covered by workers' compensation. Lost wages are partially covered when the employee needs time away from work to recover from a work-related illness or injury. Disability benefits are available if the injury caused partial or permanent disability. Ongoing care costs, such as physical therapy, are covered by workers' compensation. Death benefits typically include funeral costs and survivor benefits for the worker's family. Workers' compensation benefits are paid no matter who was at fault, and workers' compensation laws typically prevent employees from suing their employers for a work-related injury or illness. Does workers' compensation cover COVID-19? Depending on your state and occupation, you may be eligible for workers' compensation for COVID-19. If you were exposed to the virus at your workplace, according to the National Conference of State Legislatures. 17 states and Puerto Rico have taken action to extend workers' compensation coverage to include COVID-19 as a work-related illness. Several states have enacted legislation for COVID-19 workers' compensation coverage for certain types of workers. Minnesota, Utah, and Wisconsin limit coverage to first responder and healthcare workers. Illinois, New Jersey, and Vermont cover all essential workers. California and Wyoming cover all workers. California and Kentucky have taken executive action to offer coverage to other essential workers such as grocery store employees. And then the next discussion is about what does workers' compensation insurance not cover. Employees are covered for workers' compensation regardless of the number of hours they work. And then, however, there are exclusions which could result in a denied workers' compensation claim, including commuting. Traveling to and from work is typically excluded from workers' compensation coverage. A person may be covered if they are in a company vehicle or do not have a physical office, such as a traveling salesperson. Intoxication or substance abuse. Many states exclude workers' compensation coverage if the injured person was intoxicated and that contributed to the injury. Workplace fight. If an injury happens during a fight with a colleague, workers' compensation may not cover the injuries. One exception is if the fight was about work. Where to buy workers' compensation insurance? Need to buy workers' compensation insurance for your employees? You've got different options depending on your state. You might buy workers' compensation from private insurance companies or purchase it from a state-run agency, or you might have both options. Private workers' compensation insurance companies set their own prices and approve or reject customers. You may get a better price from a private insurer than from a state fund. If you are not able to purchase the workers' compensation coverage that you want from a private insurer, you may want to check out a state-funded program. In a competitive state-funded workers' compensation program, private insurers and state-funded programs compete for customers. In monolithic state-funded workers' compensation programs, businesses have no choice but to get workers' compensation coverage from a state-funded program. Ohio, North Dakota, Washington, and Wyoming are examples of states with monolithic state-funded program for workers' compensation. How much does workers' compensation cost? Workers' compensation premiums are based on the job classifications of employees, and these classifications reflect the riskiest of the job. For example, a construction worker or electrician will be considered high-risk job. Other high-risk jobs include police officers, firefighters, lumberjacks, and telecommunication repair workers. The payroll of the business and any past workers' compensation claims also impact workers' compensation premiums. Workers' compensation insurance costs an average of $1 per every 100 $100 in payroll, according to the Hartford. This average varies considerably by state. If there is a confusion about workers' compensation, it is usually around how the premium is determined in part by the number of employees on the payroll, says Andrew Dalton, Assistant Vice President for the Hartford Small Commercial Workers' Compensation line of a business. Each year, state law typically requires every workers' compensation insurance company to perform an audit of the premium paid. I think that's all guys information that I can share to you. Thank you so much guys for watching. And if you need information related to insurance topic, you are in the right channel. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you can take advantage from the video that I've said. Don't forget to give a like, comment and subscribe. Bye bye, see you in another video guys.